ask now, the Inter-Ministerial Committee, because we all, not all, but I heard you making a mistake that the president formed the NPKTT. You called NPKTT. It was not formed by the president. The president formed the Inter-Ministerial Committee, which was constituted by ministers from different departments. And then those ministers brought their administrators and people who can process these issues into those meetings where they said to them, guys, and that's the evidence we had here, we have a crisis here. How do we go about it? How do we resolve it? And then suggestions have been thrown around, and then it's left to those guys to go and put up a plan and then come back to the Inter-Ministerial Committee and say, we think we need to form a political killing task team. So on your own, as politicians, you're not going to do it. You had no power to do it. You could only sit there and canvass issues politically and say, you know, we want to deal with this thing, and this is how we think we can deal with it, but go and work on it and come back to us. That's exactly what they did and came back to you. And that's how the Inter-Ministerial Committee is constituted. There will be a national commissioner. If there is justice there, there will be NDPP and maybe DG of Justice Department. If there is state security, there will be DG and whoever. They will all come with you so that they listen to what are the concerns of the principals. And then they go and do what is expected of them. And therefore, technically, I put it to you, it was not established by politicians. No president established a national, political killing task team. It was a product of the Inter-Ministerial Committee, which instructed the administrators to go and work out a plan, brought it back, ironed it up, and then it was actualized administratively, as it were, but having considered the political interest of the political principals.
So what's your question?
The question is, do you still convinced that you have a power to disband that which you have not established?
Yes, I did say the Inter-Ministerial Committee is not part of the 7th administration. And the Minister of Police was chair of that Inter-Ministerial Committee. It means that when there was no Inter-Ministerial Committee, the office or the department that is overseeing it is that of police, led by a member of cabinet. Then I'm confronted with all the issues that I've related, all these issues, and I want to do something out of that particular problem. And then I act in the manner that I did, supported by the Constitution and supported by the legislative framework. And I don't see anything wrong in terms of the law as such, because I don't see any other way, or couldn't see any other way. Yes, I may have, people are talking about consulting before or after and so on, but the reality of the matter is that we have a Minister of Police was allowed by legislation, I believe so, and the Constitution, I believe so, and I went on to do this.
Minister, you seem to suggest that inter-ministerial committees get dissolved with elections. It's not, with due respect, inter-ministerial committee is not Minister Mchunu, Minister Akele, Minister, it's Minister of Police, Minister of Defense, meaning that minister will always be there even if those individuals are no longer there. Because if you are arguing it that way, that something established on the, during the 6th term, when the 7th term comes in, it automatically gets dissolved. Then you have to make reference, you have to show us where, which terms of reference of interministerial committee said that when the term of political office of certain politicians comes to an end, automatically this comes to an end. Where? Because there's no law that says that. That's why these things are not constituted by individuals. They are constituted by departments which will always be there even when we are no longer there. So part of your handover is Minister of Police. Part of what I'm responsible for is the chairing of Inter-ministerial committee that is responsible for political killings task team, amongst other things. These are the people who constitute that interministerial, because you inherit those activities. And when you guys go back and meet together as a collective that represent these departments, you then say, no, we don't think there is a need for this to go on, and therefore let's close this and give the president the report. A person who established the interministerial committee that produced political killing task team has not dissolved the interministerial committee. We only had the announcement of the interministerial committee, but there is no date for the dissolution of the interministerial committee. And therefore, it means you came in and just undermined what has been there. The political killing task team is not only constituted by police. There are prosecutors who are also dedicated to those things. They are magistrate or whatever dedicated to those responsibilities. And therefore, for one single minister to take a decision to dissolve a team that involves other departments, it can't be constitutional. No constitutional power gives you to dissolve a task team members of prosecutors who are dealing with political killings. You can't. No, because you speak about this thing as if it's only police who are involved. That's why it came from interministerial committee. It's a product of interministerial committee because it's constituted by different people, not only the police. And if that is the case, you have no power to dissolve other people who don't belong to your department. What do you have to say about that, Minister?
My response is that there was no interministerial committee in the 7th administration. And interministerial committee is constituted by the president and cabinet, not by any other.